I said to that guy, what do you do? Thinking he must be a drug dealer. Because that's what broke kids think, right? When they
Right.
see a Porsche, must be a drug dealer. He says, no, I'm in sales. I sell for a company called Texas Instruments. Kid, I sell computers. And I said, wow, must be the best computer on planet Earth. And here's what the guy swore. I'm going to swear here, so cover your ears if you don't want to hear the S word. He said, no, frankly, kid, it's a piece of shit. And said it just like that. And I
Right.
was like, oh, I kind of got this sinking feeling like, man, he's a slime ball, right?
Yeah.
And I knew the house we were in front of was Mr. Carroll's house. And I kind of felt bad knowing that I knew Mr. Carroll was the only person in the neighborhood that had any semblance of wealth. He drove a Volvo and he was a lawyer. And he said,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a piece of shit. He goes, but you know who lives here? And I said, yeah, Mr. Carroll. He goes, yeah, John Carroll. He's an attorney. You know about him? And I said, yeah, I mean, what do you mean? He goes, do you know about him? And he kind of said, he kind of did it like this. And I knew exactly what he meant when he went like this. I said, yeah, he goes, yeah, he has Parkinson's, okay? Tremors, tics that he has. He says, listen, Mr. Carroll's also an attorney. Do you know that? I said, yeah, everybody in the neighborhood knows that, right? He's the rich guy within 3 miles. Rich.
Right.
So here's the deal with Mr. Carroll, kid. With his Parkinson's, he has a medication that he can take. He has to take that medication at 3 p.m. every day. Now, his office is in Westminster, okay? So he has a choice at 3 p.m. He can take his medication, which he is legally not allowed to drive his car after he takes his medication for 8 hours after taking that medication. Because it was a Parkinson's medication, it's going to affect your ability to operate a vehicle.
Right.
So he now has to choose. Do I take my medication at the office and pay somebody to drive me all the way from Westminster to Boulder, which was like a 25-minute drive at the time? It's 2 hours now in the way Colorado's growing. 25-minute drive. Or do I cut out of work at 2:45, get home a little bit after 3, pop my medication, now I got the rest of the day, can't get any work done. I said, here's the thing. I told you the computer's a piece of crap. Does one thing really, really well, better than any machine on planet Earth. Thing called calendar entries. You can go into this computer, kid, and it's got this little, and they didn't even, Microsoft wasn't even around yet, right? It's got this,
Wow.
this thing where he can enter his time for the day, and then he can get that information over to his bookkeeper. This is something he typically does at his office now in the afternoon. What we're doing here today is we're allowing Mr. Carroll to have all of his appointments with clients, write his notes down by hand, go home at 2:45, take his medication. He is now going to, with this Texas Instruments computer, continue to work as long as he chooses on entering all of the notes, what his client said, how much billing, and then he's going to be able to get that over to his bookkeeper to bill his clients. He said, kid, we are changing Mr. Carroll's life today. And it was like, wow. I was like, holy. And he's like, I was like, that's pretty cool. And he goes, yeah, it's also pretty cool driving a Porsche. And I was like, wait a minute.
Oh,
So
my
you're
goodness.
telling me, and it was the opposite of like all these people that are like, I want to get into sales because so-and-so on some ads driving a Lamborghini. I was like, here's a guy in a Porsche that is, and I was like, that is badass. He's literally giving this guy his freedom back. But yet you say sales and making money is how hard you work. All those people at Texas Instruments worked real hard. Not one of them went and just took a second. What the hell does this computer, instead of going, our computer sucks, my territory sucks, I don't get paid enough, right? We're an unfair company. I have been discriminated against. One guy took the time to go, here's the cards I'm dealt. What does this POS do? Pretty much nothing. It does have that calendar entry thing and the ability to word process. Huh. Now, how would somebody need that?
Oh my.
You know? And was able to, now all he had to do, he had the solution. All he had to do was reach out to people that were busy but wanted to take some work home and work. Doctors, lawyers, architects, people that needed to finish doing work at home. And this guy's rolling around in a freaking 79 Turbo. Well, everybody else is going, how do we solve it? Right? And he was a cool dude. I don't know his name. I wish, because the last thing I said, man, that is really cool. I'd love to do that. He says, man, you are more than capable of doing that. I said, why? He said, because you came up here and you had the courage to talk to me and you allowed me to speak and you listened to the answers. You'd be great. And this is one of the last times I became self-deprecating. I said, yeah, I could never do that because I had some visual problems at the time. We didn't have enough money to diagnose it. It was a muscular thing. It was easily fixed. I said, I can't read. I couldn't see. I had dyslexia. Right. And he's like, don't ever say anything bad about yourself. I said, yeah, well, my spelling sucks too and my grades are bad. He said, I got you covered. And he opened the front of that thing and he pulled out the hottest toy of it cost $70 back. I think it was 79 bucks in 1980s. It was called a Speak and Spell, manufactured by Texas Instruments. And he goes, here you go, kid. This will teach you how to spell, right? And just struggle with the reading. You'll be fine. And I made a smart ass comment. I said, my older brother, he's going to beat me up and take it. Come back here, little dude. Opened up the thing. Got a second one out.
That's amazing.
Yep. Give the best freaking... Dude, we tore... As long as we could get batteries, we tore through the Speak and Spell. Didn't take with me, but my brother has probably the single greatest vocabulary, and I bet it's because of that Speak and Spell. We didn't have anything else. We sat there on Speak and Spell all freaking day, thanks to some stranger in a car, right? And this is why, like, I buy expensive cars now because I'm just waiting for that kid to be like, yo, how did you get this car? Unfortunately, it's 2023, right? So most people are like, or, I'm gonna get one of those. Worst thing you could ever say.